Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome to your week ahead forecast with me, Matthew from Stillwater Alchemy. This week, the week of September 6th through 12th, we have so many beautiful blessings coming in, extremely auspicious. We needed it after that full moon in Aquarius that was crazy. So, the beginning of Virgo season, a lot of dust was settling, but now that we're fully in it, right at the start of the week, we have that new moon in Virgo, and it just keeps getting better and better from there. So let's dive into these transits and see what is shaking, shall we? So if we look ahead at the chart to really grasp the transits to see what's going on, we're going to see a lot of things. But even right out of the gate, I wanted to bring up the fact that Virgo is going to be finishing off its transit in Libra this week, and it'll be moving into Scorpio on the 10th of September. So, with it being co present Mercury, and even right at the beginning, we have that trine to Jupiter, I would really recommend if any of you are needing to shop or purchase a big ticket item to use this week to your advantage. Mercury will be entering those pre retrograde shadows right after this new moon in Virgo, which is fine. You're still totally okay to buy those electronics. I would do so sooner than later. As a personal example, I had to find a recliner for my place. I'd been looking and looking and looking. And this past weekend, I found one that had the perfect dimensions, the right color, and it was a floor model. And I saved over $1,000. And it was just very serendipitous. When I looked at these transits, I'm like, of course, this would happen. We have both benefics aspecting one another. And when we really think about Libra, the scales, especially Venus in her domicile, talking about markets, trading, value, fairness. So if you're needing to find anything or needing to invest in some new goodies, don't be surprised if you're saving a lot of money this week, okay? And then, of course, on Monday night at approximately 8:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have that new moon in Virgo. One aspect that I'm particularly interested in to see how this will manifest is the fact that the sun and the moon are making a trine to Uranus in Taurus. So this could be something unexpected or something that's going to come and bless you with regards to your money, health, opportunity, your job, a relationship, something that maybe you've worked really hard in the past and now it's coming in full circle, or something you've been manifesting from the beginning of the year fall beautifully on your lap. I'm also looking at this Mercury in Libra making a trine to Saturn retrograde. So this could be again correspondence or communication that has now been revised or looked over, or now you want to make that next step to legalize something, have that conversation, really stand up for yourself in a new way. So really take advantage of this new moon because there are a lot of beautiful blessings coming in with that. If you want a resource to fully dive into those new moon energies, we have a workshop available. You can check the description of this video for the link or just go to our website for all the information there. Okay. When we look at Tuesday morning and even the evening of Monday, we have the moon making that direct opposition to Neptune. So I would really be aware of your dreams on Monday night and Tuesday morning. With that new moon activation, you may be really thinking and dreaming and feeling of all these different avenues or ways for you to expand that are going to be quite beautiful. And this is having those big dreams, but then using this Virgo energy to really get started on what needs to be done. We have that moon conjunct Mars energy, and sometimes Mars can irritate the moon depending on how the day falls. So I would just not burn yourself out, not get lost in the details, really just take it one step at a time and feel into this energy without, like I said, getting burnt out or having your heads in the clouds for too long. I think that'll be a really beautiful way to go forward with this energy. Okay. And that'll be most of Tuesday. It's kind of recalibrating. And again, with the new moon, sometimes it can be a lot on our body, especially if you have dominant Virgo energy in your chart. Move through this slowly and give yourself grace, especially if there are new downloads that are taking place. And If possible, I would take time on Tuesday to journal, to be still, to be out in nature, to see what's coming through for you. Also, too, with this Moon Mars conjunction, you may feel like you want to get your act together, that you want to clean up everything, start a proper regime, get your health and fitness in order. That Mars may really amp up the moon, which represents our body, to really get everything in order for the rest of the week. Okay. When we move into Wednesday, this is a beautiful energy because then the moon moves into Libra. And when we get to Wednesday evening, we even have the moon conjunct with Mercury. So I really think this will be a beautiful time if you wanted to have those conversations with a loved one, with an employer, with your following, whatever you're wanting to do. It's going to be a beautiful time for communication. And we have that wide trine still with Saturn. So even if you wanted to go deeper in your relationships or have the talk or whatever that may be for you, Wednesday is going to be a great day. And I mean, Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. So having it conjunct the moon and then trining Saturn, this just screams hard work, discipline, really checking over everything at this point. So even if there's been that file you've been meaning to clear or paperwork that needs to be submitted or a project that you really have been wanting to work on, this is the time to do it, especially if it means collaboration or working with your team or having a staff meeting. This energy on Wednesday is really going to help move things along beautifully. Okay. When we get to Thursday, this is going to be interesting because when we get to Thursday night specifically, we now have the moon making a conjunction with Venus. And this is also Venus's last day in Libra before she moves into Scorpio. So it's interesting because Thursday night, we have the moon conjunct Venus in Libra. And then Friday, we have the moon co-present Venus in Scorpio. So I really do think that you may feel a shift in the type of love you want to give and receive and how that love is going to change from the beginning to the end of the week. And this can be in partnerships, this can be with yourself, this can be in your workplace, this can be in family. When Venus is in Libra, if we're looking at Thursday night, you may be more generous, more kind, wanting that reciprocity and really honoring both sides of the coin. Or maybe you're even evaluating all of your relationships at this point to see which ones are meant to stay and which ones are going to fall off. Because when Venus moves into Scorpio, it is an interesting energy, especially with the essential dignities of both Venus and the moon. Because with Venus, she is not exactly the most happy in Scorpio per se. Venus wants to bond, wants to connect, to be in relation, but Scorpio can be more reclusive and more private. With this whole transit, which is going to last until about October 7th, October 8th, with Venus being in Scorpio, she's going to want to go deep in more ways than one. And so when we have Venus conjunct the moon, this also on Friday night, we have the moon co-present Venus. They're squaring Saturn in Aquarius, and then they're making an opposition to Uranus and Taurus. So not necessarily the astrology, but even me just talking about it now, it kind of has like that whoopsie type energy. If you're careless or go in for that one night stand, you could find yourself in a sticky situation. So if you're going to have fun on Friday night, especially if on Thursday you had that beautiful conversation, or if you've been thinking about love nonstop, and then both Venus and the moon move into Scorpio on Friday night, just be responsible because we want to avoid any unnecessary accidents. Okay. This again, Saturn and Venus and the moon making a square to Saturn isn't all bad. It just denotes a more careful tone, having discernment, being responsible. And I do think for everyone else, if you're not feeling frisky per se, the energy here that's highlighted is you're going to want more loyalty, more power in your relationships to know that they have your back and you have theirs. It isn't going to be as surface or as maybe those casual pleasantries that Venus likes when she's in Libra. When Venus enters Scorpio, she's going to want to work on that shadow self to really examine maybe your own hopes and fears in relationships. And if you feel like you're just playing the same game and not feeling like you can trust the relationships you're in, you're probably going to want to have that conversation with yourself or have conversations with others to see how you can rework the dynamic in your relationship, or simply take more time on your own to work internally so you can show up for all of your relationships at a much higher level. Okay. When we get to Saturday morning, we have the moon now really in close opposition with Uranus, but then she's also throughout the day going to be sextiling the sun and Mars in Virgo. So you may have some, if you haven't been getting grounded throughout the week, your energy could be very high and you could be maybe a bit more critical of irritants or people that cross your path. Also, with the moon opposing Uranus, it's just for me elevated mood swings or little things throwing you off track. So be sure to put some grounding in Saturday morning so that the chances of your day having that upheaval is minimized. Okay. Otherwise, especially with the moon sextiling the sun and Mars in Virgo, this will be a good day to get a lot of productivity in as well. Because when we get to Sunday, we finally have some fire energy in the cosmos. All week, there are no planets in fire signs. So when we get to Sunday, we finally have the moon entering into Sagittarius. So for me, this screams play, have fun. We have the moon sextiling Saturn, but for me, all week, we've been diligent and working and collaborating and setting new goals and intentions. So this is a beautiful balance of maybe setting a reward for yourself that if you get X accomplished, then you can go treat yourself. Because especially the moon in Sagittarius, it just screams going out, having an adventure, still enjoying these final days of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. So I would really set that balance so that you're not just going and going and going and going and working and working and working. When we get to Sunday night, the moon at that point is at 9 degrees. So with that, it's not in a direct square with the sun and Mars, but as we get to Monday, then there might be a little bit of tension there that the moon has to contend with. But for now, when we finish off the week, I would advise play just to round off this week nicely, to enjoy the fire energy and to reward yourself for everything you've done throughout the week. Okay. So if I'm looking at this week, please take advantage of that new moon right at the beginning. It's really going to set you up beautifully, not just for this week, but I truly feel rounding out Q3, setting ourselves up for the end of this year. And as you can see, love and communication are going to be significant energies that we contend with as the moon moves through Libra, hitting Mercury and Venus. As the moon and Venus both go into Scorpio, I think that's going to be quite the paradigm shift, because we are just going to want more from ourselves and from the people that we love. And that's just going to be setting the tone for the rest of the year, in my opinion. I think from what I've been feeling and talking to with clients, they're done having the same shallow surface level love life, career, dreams, family matters, their home. They all want something bigger, something more grand. And so having both the Virgo new moon finishing off the sweetness of Venus and Libra, and then really going in deep with that Scorpio energy, it's just setting us up really beautifully. And like I said, Mercury will enter those pre-retrograde shadows at the start of this week. So if you can wrap up those loose ends, finalize those plans or projects, and buy any final electronics or big ticket items that have been on your list, once Mercury goes retrograde at the end of this month on September 27th, you won't need to worry because you already did all the work ahead of time. So if everyone else seems to be having delays or issues, you can just sit back and have that cup of coffee or glass of wine knowing that you did the work and that you're good to go. Okay. So those are my main thoughts. I'm super excited for that new moon. I'm actually really excited for Venus going into Scorpio. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, especially for those of us that have prominent water energy in our chart. Stay tuned for more on that. Otherwise, feel free to comment what you're bringing in with this new moon energy, what you're excited about with this week, what you're claiming into your energy. And if you feel called, please like, share, and distribute this information with anyone else that you think may benefit. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you next week. Bye.